will tell us what newsroom expects of you as newsmakers. So please, let's put our hands together for Paul Ilado. Karibu sana, Paul.
Wanyama, asante sana. Ningeomba kusimama. This is going to be different. Okay? First a correction, Wanyama, you can't hear me? You can hear me now? Good. Really? Okay. Whoever is operating the mic, I have a small voice, so please do some justice to it. Thank you. I'm the group head of content for Radio Africa Group. I think Wanyama got used to me many years ago as a political editor, so he's stuck there, which is fine. Now, the way I want to do this is not to purport to lecture anyone. You know, kufunza watu ama kuzungumza na watu baada ya chakula cha mchana ni kazi ngumu sana. That man called Clay Muganda would be half asleep by the time I'm done. So the way I want to do this is, one, I'd like us to have a conversation with ODPP, but also I'd like to have a conversation with my colleagues on this side. So those conversations will be done by all of us, not just me, okay? So that, you know, by the time we are done, we've been useful to each other. So I want to ask a simple question, and Mr. Mule, you'll go first. What do you think is the role of the media in the criminal justice system? Microphone, tafadhali.
You report what I have done in court.
Good attempt.
And, disseminate to the public the correct position of what happened, so that the public can know exactly what happened and why it happened.
Okay. Next. Catherine.
So the role of the media in the criminal justice system, I would say, in the end, it's to assist in the delivery of justice, in the sense that you report, you know, aid the process from the beginning to the end by disseminating information to the public.
Okay. These young people. Tuanze na ule wa nyuma. Eunice, do you think we have any role to play?
Yes, the media plays a very big role in the criminal justice system. In fact, it's should be considered one of the key partners because of your access to disseminate.
Grace, do you think we can do without each other? Burungi.
The media plays a key role in sensitizing the public about the ODPP and also about the cases in court, the prosecution process. That is one point. The other point, in terms of gathering the evidence, I think the media is very important, although you are trying to shy away from it. But you have been able to unearth very serious criminal activities. So I think the media should also work with the DCI so that DCI can take further actions. Instead of just coming to you to get what you have gathered, he should go to the ground, of course with the assistance because you give them the contacts and all that, and correct evidence. So I think we cannot do without each other. Otherwise we'll be prosecuting in the darkness without the world knowing what we are doing. Yes.
Okay. Zhao, why are we meeting these people? Why are we sitting here with them?
Yeah, we are meeting with them so that we can have a basis of understand. We need to understand each other because there are few things that we think we can do better. She has just said that our role, we come across a lot of information, so therefore we could assist investigations. But Paul, you will appreciate the reason why we come across this information is because we are trying to hold to account the duty bearers. So then we come across this information, not for investigation purposes. So if you need your own information, you probably have to look for it, or use what we have as a basis for understanding or getting the evidence that you need. So Paul, to answer you briefly, we are here to understand each other, and it's a good opportunity.
Thank you. Swale.
Yeah, mimi nafikiri ni swali ambalo umemuuliza Madam Grace kwamba these guys can work without us. I think tusidanganyane hapa kwa sababu during Moi's era the media was not interacting with the AG, which is the ODPP and the AG, vitu kama hizo. Sasa na wakati huo we were in darkness, total darkness. So sasa tusidanganyane kwamba these guys can work without us, by the way. When they do their things, na sisi tunafanya vitu zetu, you just seek them when you want to get a certain information. Yeah.
Sawa. Oyuga. Nzau mentioned something. There's a key word you mentioned there. Accountability. Do we need to hold these people accountable? And how do we hold them accountable?
Is it holding the
ODPP.
ODPP to accountable, or the ODPP holding the media to accountable? I think it's both ways. But I think the ODPP is a very important office in the society that should be held accountable in that, does it really serve the very purpose it was created? Is it serving the public?
Clay, between you and I, our combined age is probably 100. I'm not that old, eh?
Thanks.
But you've been around longer than I have.
I'm okay.
How does someone get coverage? These guys are saying, they are here to learn how we should cover them. So what is the first step? What do we do?
Let them do bad things. Definitely, if you make a mistake, we will cover you. And I think that is also just in the process of accountability, holding you to account. I disagree with Swale when he says that you people can do without us because it had happened before. We are moving forward. This is the 21st century. This is a new era of accountability. This is a new constitutional dispensation also. And I think that to hold you people accountable to the public, yes, you have a right to hold us accountable too. But I think our main aim when we are informing, entertaining, and educating people is to make sure that as a constitutional office or as an independent office, you are in that office for Kenyans. And as a fourth estate, we actually need to let Kenyans know that either you people are falling off the rails or you're actually on the right track. And I think we need to hold each other accountable. It's a two-way thing. But if you want to get coverage every day, please fall off the rail every day.
Thank you. I think he's making an important point, which is that you've got to make the news. Mule, you have to make the news. There is a friend of ours called Dunstan Omari. Dansan Omari will go to court.
And educate.
Even before he finishes the,
Yeah, that's true.
you know, where is the registry in court? You know where it is. Even before he passes through that door, he will walk in one step and he'll walk out. He says everything he wants to say. Okay? Sam, what is it that he does that is right? You cover courts. And what is the process? Take us through the news process.
It's a tough one, but having interacted with Omari for a while, he has understood the industry and what excites media persons. So wherever he has a case, he will make sure, first of all, he has gotten in contact with us. After filing the case, he will come and address us out there. What we don't understand, he will clarify. Unlike many lawyers, many advocates would first file a case, obtain orders, then share with the media. But Omari he does it the opposite way. He will get into contact with the media before even filing. I am aware of some instances where officers from the state councils from the ODPP office would contact us. They have been prosecuting a case and they fear that the magistrate or the judge will possibly acquit. And to avoid such a scenario, they would bring it to our attention. Please highlight this thing. And sometimes it works. So I echo what Clay said. It's a two-way thing. Getting in touch with the journalists and ensuring they get the right information. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm about to finish. I can see the timekeeper is telling me I have 5 minutes. I think Sam has said some of the things that I wanted to say. If you want to get covered, you have to be accessible. That's number one. You can have all the documents, all the good stories that you have, but as long as Paul Ogemba has no idea that you have them, he will not cover you. Okay? That's number one. Number two is availability. Are you available? Now, he used an example of how Omari looks for them or clarifies things. I'm told the life of a prosecutor is you walk into court with your files, you walk out with your files. See you tomorrow. But in those files, there are fantastic stories, brilliant stories. Please note that we write about human beings. We write about people. We write about the happenings. We reflect what goes on in